like, is it gonna go live?
How did I get here? Where am I?
I hit a button, not do anything. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to episode 30 of Profit Talk. I figured that would save time, like down the road messages like, where's this elusive episode? So episode 30, Profit Talk. Tonight we're talking about shipping, packing. I don't remember what I put. Anyways, it's packaging, all things packaging and shipping. Deb couldn't be here. She has something really, really important. That's about what I said. Something really, really important to do tonight. So if you're of the praying sort, pray that everything goes well, because that would be awesome.
Yes.
And if you're not, vibe it, whatever you want to do. That would be really, really good if you could, just have them in your thoughts at whatever. Nothing's wrong. Well, you know what I mean? Like, oh, good vibes. Nothing's wrong. I don't want to scare anybody. I probably shouldn't have just even said anything.
She's fine. She's had little family minor emergency come up and she had to go take care of it. It wasn't really an emergency. So, yeah.
Actually, Dwayne, it was me in makeup.
My wife was like, I need you to run to the gas station, and I had to go get something and whatever. And I'm like, just playing my music with the sunroof open and taking my time, getting home at full blast with the radio. And I get home, I'm like, it's like 7:01. Oops. So my bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any other excuse.
Well, everybody said I look nice, so I was trying to tell them.
Oh, I think they're talking to me. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel terrible, so I thought I could at least try to not look like death warmed over.
You sound awful.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I told you guys about it this morning, and I thought it was over with. I thought it was just like a little bit left, but I don't know. I don't know what it is that's wrong. But tomorrow I go to the chiropractor, and the Ayurvedic lady that I see is in the same office. So I'm gonna talk to her tomorrow and just be like, herb me up, please.
Tristan had her 4th, steroid ear injection shot thing, like think little tiny pediatric baby needle full of steroids straight into your ear, into your cochlea, which I don't know. That's what she told me. I was like, okay.
Eardrum, right?
Yeah, through your eardrum, like into the guy's there with a microscope, the ENT guy with the little needle thing. So anyhow, she had to have it once a week for 4 weeks. She took the last one last week, and she's feeling kind of funky. So she's been down and out for a couple of days. Like
steroids, coming off of steroid, any small amount. I mean, it doesn't matter how small. Steroids screws you up.
Well, they did the injections in the ear because they said, do you want what is called Medrol dose pack? And she was like, oh, hell no, because we don't do good on like pill form steroids. They literally make us all kind of go nuts or whatever. She's like, oh, hell no. And they're like, well, we can do this compound. If you get it from the compounding pharmacy, steroids directly in your ear, and it's once a week. And so it was it's more concentrated to the point, but it still affects the rest of your body. I hate steroids anyhow, but So
when I had chicken pox as a kid, I had it so bad that they had to put me on steroids. I don't remember what the reason was. Like, it was doing something. And then I had poison ivy so bad, like it was in my eyes and down my throat and stuff. And they had to put me on steroids and put cream in my eyes. And I was a beast.
And you were like, get away from me.
I was like, is it time for me to take it again yet? Is it time? I was like a little junkie. I was like a little junkie wanting my fix. My mom said it was hilarious.
Did your mom have like old VHS videos?
I hope not. I hope not, because she said she like kept waiting on me to Hulk out. She's like, I was just waiting on you to just take me down, But it was so gross. She had to pry my eyes open and put this cream in there and rub it around so I wouldn't go blind.
That's awesome.
But that's neither here nor there. There was a couple of, like, is William here yet? William, are you here? William Porter.
I do not know because I came in here early.
Yeah, I was here early, but then I went and decided to put a face on.
So tonight we're going to talk about stuff it, pack it, ship it right.
You got it.
Pack it, ship it right.
Like a cheer.
Yeah, so if you have questions in the audience, put them in the comments thing. Put the word question out front. That kind of helps because there's only 2 of us, and that way we don't overlook anything. But I do know I had jotted down a couple things to talk about. And then William Porter, yes, he is here. He just
I just saw him say yes. He had a specific question, so I didn't want to talk about it until he was, you know what I mean? I didn't want to talk about it before if he wasn't here yet.
The gang's all here. Run with it.
I hate getting a new phone. Okay, Williams was, where is it? Okay, I'm looking for how to ship very fragile items. And info about FedEx, which he says I have yet to use for reselling. The very fragile items, I hate fragile, but as long as you take your time and you do the packing right, you're fine. Yeah, that was all. That was his whole thing.
I will say, as far as FedEx,
I don't do a lot of FedEx.
I'll say this, and I talked about this briefly on the Friday Night Disaster show that I did with Chad. UPS is really rough on packages. Mm-hmm. My experience has been UPS is very, very, very automated as far as like conveyor belts, punch bars, package goes this way, blah, 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 move it quickly. FedEx and the Postal Service, yes, they all use automation equipment, but they're a little lighter on them. Like if you told me that I had to ship a $1,000 vase and it was going to be packed great and whatever else, and but you gave me my choice of those 3 carriers and the prices were all comparable, I would totally pick FedEx over any of them. I've never, I'm trying to think, knock on wood, I've never had a package lost with FedEx. I have with the post office. FedEx is lighter on stuff. UPS, I've seen a lot of damaged stuff, even stuff that was packaged really, really good and professionally. I've seen lost packages with UPS. I don't know. I kind of would pick FedEx. Of course, they're not really a viable option for, small stuff, first class packages, small priority. But if you're having to do something like what he's asking about for fragile or more expensive or whatever, me personally, I would pick FedEx. I've had a lot better experiences with them.
If you can factor the cost in somehow, right, or if it's things that people are willing to pay that extra for. Nothing that I've ever gotten FedEx has been messed up in any way, shape, or form.
Well, and that's the thing. Even the stuff I receive, we order a lot of stuff off Amazon. And Amazon here, I don't know, it's different in every area, but they don't utilize FedEx. Mm-hmm. No, actually, they did on something the other day. Not as much anymore, but they utilize the post office on lighter weight stuff. They utilize UPS a lot. But if I look at all the
FedEx though from them, we still get some things FedEx from UPS. Yeah. I mean, from Amazon.
If I look at like overall, like I ordered something from Jet.com the other day, which is kind of a FedEx competitor thing or a Amazon competitor thing, a new company that's trying to start up. And it was like 2 huge packs of toilet paper and 3 packs of almond butter. I mean, plastic jars of almond butter. And they literally put in this big, huge purple box that wasn't really, it didn't have a real good crush strength. It was kind of a flimsy box, but it had their Jet.com logo or whatever. Anyhow, it came FedEx. So it was very heavy. This is really dense type toilet paper. I mean, it was probably a 15-pound package. Wasn't packed real good with air pillows, whatever else. The box was still intact. It didn't have any crushed corners. It looked really, really, as a matter of fact, I used that same box on 2 different occasions, used it the next day to send stuff back to Amazon FBA, which I'm sure they love getting stuff in a Jet.com box, but they don't give a crap. I thought it was kind of funny, but, whereas if I get a UPS package, I had a guy insist that I send a reel-to-reel player to him here this last week, or 2 weeks ago, insist that I only use Postal or UPS because he had bad luck. And I argued and went back and forth, and I started to say, the carrier is my choice. And against my best judgment, I used UPS, and I'm now fighting a claim on a $300 reel-to-reel player because and this thing was packed good. I had paid to have it professionally packed, and they just smacked the shit out of it. And they broke it in a way that I know for a fact it was broken during transit. And it probably couldn't have been avoided unless you'd, put 25 inches of styrofoam all the way around it. But it did have styrofoam corners and blocks on it. Basically, but they were really hard on it. UPS is really tough on heavier, fragile packages. So, sorry, I went way around the world for that answer.
No, it's fine. I thought there was Lisa, I've got your question. Once we're finished with Williams. So I assume they're glass or something that you're shipping, William. Small fragile things. I'm assuming it's glass. There's the whole coffee mug debate. Do you do the FOMO thing? What do you do?
That makes me cringe. Sorry.
I know, right? But that's what everybody swears by. I think it's fine. Do whatever you want to do. But to me, it just feels so much like cheating. Like stuffing the boxes in those bags. But anyways, when I did a lot of Starbucks mugs, because we had the ones that were, it was like one of the You Are Here, I think was the series. And I could go and get them off the shelf. I think they were $12.99 and people were paying like $50 for them constantly. So it was really fast and easy. But leaving the mug in its box that it comes in, I was afraid that the handles would snap off because it was just a hard box, and then the handle was laying kind of on top of the hard insert in the box. And then it had a cardboard lid over top of it. So I actually kind of scooched part of the inside of the box out so that I could wrap foam around it. And basically what I would try to do was make sure that it couldn't move in any way, that everything was supported, was wrapped, and that it couldn't move in any way, shape, or form. Like I stood there and just shook the snot out of the box and made sure that I didn't hear it touching anything and didn't feel it, physically moving. And I've never had, I didn't have any of those get broken. I've never had anything get broken like that, but I'm a really paranoid packer, and I'll wrap everything with bubble wrap and then I'll put some foam around it. And, I put shrink wrap around the whole thing. Like once I got all my pieces around not the mugs because they were in the box, but, there were some figurines that I did that had kind of things coming off, and they were to a family member. It wasn't something I sold, but I put bubble wrap and then I put foam, and then I think I did outside the foam. I think I did paper in between like the main part and some of the little things just on either side, something to kind of for stability, I guess. And then I put shrink wrap around the whole thing. And it actually made it through UPS without getting broken. Yeah, that was the one that I did up above. So I don't know if that answers, I hope that answers your question, William. If not, just say.
And I'm answering beer questions in the audience. I'm sorry.
Beer's important.
No, and that wasn't really why I was late, but he's got red rye IPA. No, but I did kind of run to the gas station. That was kind of one of the things I got, and they have like 20 different beers on tap, and I killed one of the kegs because I was going to get this one that I just told Mothership Products I had. It's called Southern Tier Tangier. It's an IPA. And apparently the keg went dry, and so she goes, "Oh, well, here, just take it and have it for free. And what else do you want?" I'm like, "Okay." So I got like an entire glass of it for free.
Nice.
Poured up to about a glass. I love that little gas station. It's like this little Conoco station in the middle of nowhere, kind of outside the city limits. Looks like absolutely nothing, but you walk in the one separate entrance, and it's a liquor store, wine store, and they have the most amazing selection. And the guy that runs it knows his wine, knows his liquor, knows everything. And then on the side where the customer is going to pay for gas, buy cigarettes, buy snacks, whatever, they have this awesome beer selection with like 20 different kinds of draft on tap that you can get to go because they changed the law in Alabama a while back. And if you ask him, like I was asking myself, like, okay, Steve, so what is this one right here? He goes, okay, it's going to be kind of hoppy, but it's going to have kind of a tangerine peel taste. And I'm like, I mean, it's like walking into like a bar, you know, where they describe the drinks to you or whatever. So, yeah. And I got back and was checking my email. I was a little late. Sorry. Sidetrack.
Okay.
Lisa
Everybody's here.
I butcher her name every week.
I do too. Deb's told me 57 times how to say it, and I still can't.
Miss Woodall has a question, or Mrs. maybe, has a question. It says, is there a cheaper way to ship a quilt than putting it in a box? And I saw that there were a couple different answers. I think it was Angie, I believe. I have to scroll way back up. Yeah, it was really large, sturdy bag, or put two priority bag in. I guess my question to you would be, is the issue more of weight? I mean, your box isn't going to weigh a whole lot. Here's the deal with a box versus a bag. And I see a lot of people that are polybag, polybag, polybag. That's fine if you're shipping a shirt, shipping a sweater, shipping something like that. You know, even if you're shipping something bigger like a quilt, but if you're also, I'm trying to think of all the quilts that we have because we're kind of quilt connoisseurs, and I know we just have tons of quilts, way too many quilts. Because they're cheap and I like them and they last forever and they're cool. But, you know, I think most of the ones I have would fit into a box that at the most it's going to maybe add 1 pound. So I guess my question would be, you know, if it was a $20 quilt, yeah, I mean, you could probably polybag it. You know, if it's a $150 antique quilt, I personally wouldn't polybag it. I would spend the extra on that box, even if you have to go to Walmart and get a duck box. They're very affordable. Even if it added 1 pound to your shipping weight and you were going from California to Massachusetts, you know, and it ended up being $2 or $3 extra, it just kind of depends on the price point on the item. I'm not a big polybag fan, and I know there's a lot of people in the audience that are probably going to totally disagree with me. I use padded bubble mailers a lot. You know, I'll use these in a heartbeat for the little lightweight things that I ship. But as far as just a poly bag, I mean, most of the stuff that I sell that doesn't fit in those small padded mailers, I guess really I'm trying to look around and think. I mean, it kind of needs that extra protection of a box.
I do sewing patterns, cross stitch things, those kind of things.
Right.
I'll sling that into a poly bag anytime.
Well, I mean, here's a for instance. Like I have a set of placemats that I sell with a table runner, and it weighs total, I think it's right at a little over 1 pound. They're really, really, really lightweight. A Priority Mail shoe box only weighs 6 ounces, 6.1, but my air's blowing, so let's say 6 ounces. That, I could put it in a poly bag, I'm still going to be at the 2 pound rate. Or I can put it in this free Priority Mail box, same 2 pound rate. You know what I mean? So unless it's a really big deal breaker, you know, an item you didn't charge enough shipping for, I'm more of a box guy. That's just me. Just kind of depends.
Poly bags are just easy though.
They are, but I mean, padded mailers are. So there's something about a poly bag that feels cheap to me.
Turtle, I don't know what you mean.
What was the question? Turtle Trader asked.
Can you tell me about using gray poly bags, and when is it considered an irregular package?
Thank you for your time. Have scales and print my own labels and charge. Honestly, USPS irregular package. I know with UPS, it used to be that an irregular package was more like it had funky dimensions, like it was trapezoid shaped or something like that. Let's see, jump to irregular packages. All right, according to eBay, if your shipment can't be sorted with mail processing equipment because of its size, shape, content, or address legibility, and additional charges may apply. Use the irregular package option if you're using Parcel Select and your package is, and there's a whole list of things. I just went to Google, I'm not going to read all those, and put USPS irregular package, and it took me to an eBay link, because it's funky stuff like a metal container with 1 or more gallons of liquid, a metal banded parcel, a wooden or metal box, a tube or roll, a book, printed matter, or business forms weighing more than 25 pounds. UPS considers irregular. Now, that one I do know a little better, and that one UPS considers irregular to be if any of the following apply. The longest side of your package is over 60 inches, or the second longest side is over 30 inches, or the package is encased in an external shipping container made of metal or wood, or the package is a cylindrical item such as a barrel, drum, pail, or tire that isn't fully encased in a corrugated cardboard shipping container. And that's something I do remember, because at Dad's store, we used to have people that come in and ship tires. And you can totally ship a tire. As a matter of fact, if you order a tire off TireRack.com, they have super cheap tires. They will ship them directly to you by taking, let's say this is the tire. They will totally take the, can y'all see me? Why is my screen blank? They will totally take the, there we go. They'll totally take, like if this is the tire, they'll put the label right here and they'll put tape all the way around and they'll send it through UPS like that. That is considered irregular. Looks like the post office is a little pickier. Basically, if it's anything that's not a cardboard box, it's pretty funky. If you put your dimensions in on whatever program you're using, typically it'll determine if the dimensions make it irregular or not. So that's been my experience. So it can be irregular because of being funky material. It can be irregular because of the dimensions being real large. So nutshell version, yeah, I would definitely go read on that, because there's a lot of stuff with the post office that I didn't even know, like that a square envelope is considered irregular with the post office. An envelope on which the address is written parallel to the shorter edge. That one I actually did know, but I'd forgotten. A high-density parcel weighing more than 15 pounds and exerting more than 60 pounds per square inch foot pressure on its smallest side. Yeah, good luck figuring. You got to be an engineer to figure that one out. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that's not machinable. It's a lot of stuff that's funky. So, wow, we could make a whole show out of that one. That was a good question. What else do we have going on? Yeah, Sue said basically irregular is anything that's not in the box. It does apply to a few dimensional things, but essentially it's anything that's not in the box. But polybag, I wouldn't, don't quote me on that one. I wouldn't mark irregular for a polybag. But then again, I don't really use polybags. And it also depends on, you know, are you shipping an item that's this big in a poly bag that's this big and it's banging all around? Like if I did use poly bags, that would drive me crazy. All that extra excess material would get folded over and taped down. Like that would just, maybe it's my OCD. Yep, and Sue just posted something really good in the comments as well. Brian, check your messages. Brian Posey. Brian is going to come in and help me moderate a little bit. Danica's not feeling real great either, so everybody's fine. Brian, if you'll come in and help me be a moderator, that'd be awesome. Please, I owe you one. And no, there are not cats being fed. Sue, if it's not adding anything to the cost for a regular UPS, I know it will. USPS, I really don't know. If it's not adding anything to the cost, I'd go ahead and just keep marking it. Let's see. All right, we had a question earlier today. Oh, this came up. I was going to hang out with Sue Sowen, and this came up, and I wish Deb were here. Let me go back here and find it. And the question came, I was jotting down things to talk about. Oh, this is a good subject, but I'll wait for Danica to get back. Sue had brought up that she ran into an issue with, she said, whenever I ship FedEx for eBay, she said it won't let me do it because my return address is a post office box. Because a lot of us use post office boxes or whatever for, you know, safety reasons. You don't want everybody out there and having your return address, or you simply, you know, it's easier to just send it to a P.O. box, or like in our case, we're out of town a lot of times, so everything goes to a mailbox type place. But she said when she was trying to ship things through eBay, she couldn't use FedEx because apparently it was recognizing her return address as being a P.O. box. So I wrote that down to talk about, and then Deb came into the Hangout. She had to leave for a while, and she came back in and said, wait a minute. She said, you actually can. And what Deb said you can do, and she does this for her post office box, if her post office is located at 123 Main Street, she'll put 123 Main Street, box 767, Austin, Texas, zip code, whatever. But put that in that form, and that she said she gets stuff from FedEx all the time that way. I don't know if that comes, you know, just it only works on returns. I don't know on incoming shipments. I don't know a ton about FedEx. Me personally, I recommend, and Sue and I were talking about this, I recommend getting, if you have one near you. As a matter of fact, we were Googling the town that she lives in, and she's got a couple little pack and ship type stores that are not UPS stores but similar. And because they're not UPS branded, they could do FedEx, USPS, and UPS. And we were looking at the rate. She called and got the rates and all that, and actually was cheaper than what she was paying for a P.O. box. So if you have that, and the way I found it was, if you live in Huntsville, Alabama, put in Huntsville, AL shipping in Google. Just put your city, your state, and the word shipping in Google, and usually the first things that'll pop up are like Yellow Pages ads or whatever, and you can see all the kind of pack and ship stores that you have around you. The one that I use now, I had no clue it was there for 3.5 years. Wish I would have. They don't do a lot of advertising. What else? What else? Let me go back to the comments.
What are you looking for?
Brian, you're here. Yay. Okay. Thank you, Brian.
I've been sitting here all this time.
Don't scare me like that. Dude, I'm off in another. I'm trying to go back and look for questions from earlier today. I think that's about it. Oh, the question came up, and this was another thing. Sue and Maureen were in there. We were all. It was actually still the morning show after show hangout. And I left most of the afternoon, but I came back and everybody was still in there working and stuff. One of the questions, and Sue brought this up, was not using trash as space filler. And I posted in the 1500 room a while back, I actually received a DVD set that I ordered off of eBay. And when it came, it was packed with pillowcases. Used, dirty, greasy. I mean, it was a white pillowcase, but you could see the brown spot from where the head grease or whatever it had been. And then to make matters worse, I like pick it up like this by the corners. I'm like, oh, we could bleach it. Like joking with my wife, it's got like a big chunk cut out of the corner of it. So I don't know what that was all about. Yeah, not. And I gave them good feedback. You know, it was the DVD set came fine. I probably at some point will follow back up and be like, hey, just a heads up. I was okay with it, but most people wouldn't be. Deb brought up the subject today that, you know, people have mentioned it in groups that they used old water bottles, plastic water bottles. You know, you buy the 24-pack of water from Walmart and use the old plastic bottle, put the lid back on, and they've got lots of, you know, air still in them. That people use those as packing material. You know, and I've seen for years that people say, oh, I recycle. I use egg cartons because it's part of recycling. Well, guys, my personal opinion, not everybody appreciates recycling. If I order a $35 DVD set from you and you wrap it in an old pillowcase, or you wrap it in egg cartons because you're trying to be green, okay, that's not, go be green somewhere else. It was even Deb said, she goes, you know what, that's what the blue bin out front of your house is for. Go be green out there. You know, that's great, but don't ship that crap to other people.
Is Robin out here? Because she is most famous for shipping Chuck Norris in a Pop-Tart box.
For shipping what?
Chuck Norris in a Pop-Tart box. She sold Walker Texas Ranger DVD thingy or VHS. It's been a long time ago. And put it in
Did
a
she really?
Yeah. Now, as far as trash, as dunnage, depends on your definition of trash. Like, I got a crap load of, like, these bags. Some people would consider it trash. Me, if I got, like, paper or something, I'll fill that up, tie it up, right in there.
I don't really use bags. I've never really used bags. Well, I take it back. I've wrapped stuff and stuff like that. If it's a little first-class item, I saw a lot of little items that are like $4. $4 free shipping, little first-class stuff. You know, it's really a defect offsetter. You know, at the end of the day, after what I paid for the item and everything else, I might make $1. It's more to kind of keep my metrics up on eBay. You know, I might wrap it in that and then stick it in a padded mailer or whatever if it needs a little extra cushioning. You know, if it's an expensive item, then I'd be kind of more like, you know, maybe not. And it just depends on what it is, really.
Now, just so I'm on the same page, we're just strictly talking eBay, right?
Amazon. Oh, Amazon. I'll tell you right now, Amazon, and I would have to go find the rules or whatever. But Amazon, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in the rules, and it's probably been a year or two since I looked it up, but it does say to use new packaging materials. That doesn't, well, I shouldn't say that officially. I'm not going to say that I don't reuse Amazon Prime boxes for the outer box, but as far as on the inside, be professional. Amazon customers are pickier.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that was a good point.
What I'm talking about is, like, say, shipping into Amazon, too. They have their own rules. They don't want little wads of paper. They want stuff that their people can get in, out, move along.
They're not as one of the biggest things with Amazon. If you're talking about inbound to FBA, one of the biggest things with them is do not use packing peanuts, and you do that and you'll get a little nasty gram from them, which is not a huge deal.
Packing peanuts and newspaper.
You can use packing peanuts. Just put them inside of one of these bags and tie off that bag so it's not spread everywhere. They want to reach in, get rid of it.
Because at that point it becomes dunnage, and all dunnage is basically the same.
So, I mean, I've just reused materials like that, and I've had 2 shipments from my mother in Florida, which FedEx put a crap load of that brown paper in. So guess what? I'm reusing it. Dude.
Oh, brown paper. I mean, brown paper, air pillows, all the rest of that, I totally reuse. I've got a whole shelf full of it over there. As a matter of fact, you were in the morning after show this morning when I was packing up an old vintage car stereo for eBay and everything else, and I did the whole entire packing of that in a big heavy postal scale with leftover air pillows that I had gotten from Amazon. I mean, you know, technically you're not supposed to do reused with Amazon. But you know what? Who's to say that an air pillow? I'm gonna be honest. Who's to say that an air pillow or some brown paper, as long as it's not stained, whatever else? I mean, just use common sense. I think is the biggest thing. If you wouldn't want to pay $50 for an item, well, that's probably not a good example because some people wouldn't really want to be picky. If you don't want to open your DVD box set that you paid $35-40 for and see it wrapped in a greasy, head-stained pillowcase, don't do it.
But the problem is that a lot of people don't see anything wrong with that.
A lot of...
You know what I mean? Like, they don't... They're like, well, what's wrong with it? It's got packaging around it. The item does, so who cares?
Yeah, shipping on the cheap, but it's cheap and not to your advantage because you're going to get eBay, neg, because somebody's not going to like it eventually. Or
Right.
Amazon's going to slap you on your wrist. Something.
Angie, a couple people in the audience, Angie, everybody else was talking about, I really hate getting stuff packaged in smoky packaging. Talking about cigarette smoke. And as an ex-smoker, I will tell you, you don't notice it until you quit smoking and become a non-smoker. Then all of a sudden, one day, your nose becomes a lot more sensitive. You get your senses back and whatever else. If you smoke in your house, if you smoke in your garage, if you work from either one of those work areas, keep your crap in a totally different space. Or I know some resellers that bag it completely. You know, take your pictures outdoors, whatever, bag it, Ziploc bag it, whatever else, get rid of it. But do keep in mind that smoke smell is still going to stick to your bag or to your packaging material or to your boxes. I mean, people that don't smoke are still going to be able to smell it.
Now, I remember this from a while back. Even though you bag it, before you ship, if it's been sitting a while, like a few months, you might want to open that bag back up and take another whiff inside of it. Jack Carter, I remember, I think it was him, he got a complaint about it being stinky, and he opened up his old packaging, so he said it smelled to high hell.
I mean, one of the things that I did when I smoked and I worked in a little building behind our house a couple years ago, I actually had a fan that sat going. I'm not going to lie, I smoked in there. It was 30 by 10, and all my inventory was in there, but I always had this big, huge, super-powered fan blowing straight out the door with the door always open, even if the air conditioner was running. And I had about 3 of those smoke ionizers that stayed going in there 24/7, and I don't know what those things do to the ion particles or whatever, but they actually worked.
Yeah,
Like, you come back out there the next day and you couldn't smell a bit of smoke.
I got one in my room that I've thrifted.
And I was a chain smoker. You know, obviously the best option would be just separate smoking from your merchandise.
And wash your hands after you smoke before you go messing with all your stuff, because people that are really sensitive to it, they're going to smell it. If you have the least, little bit of smell in your hands, it's going to transfer. Like, I'm really sensitive to it. And I quit smoking like 14 years, almost 15 years ago, because my kid's almost 14, so over 14 years ago, I stopped smoking, and it's like I am wicked sensitive to it now. I can smell if you had a cigarette last week, And
I'm like,
Don't want to separate all.
awful. It makes me gag.
Don't want to separate all that stuff. Just make sure to put it in your listings. Not a smoke-free home. I smoke. My dog smokes. So does the cat.
People will still complain about it. They'll still complain. Did you guys talk about where to get refill, or is that what you're talking about?
I don't smoke, but my dog does.
Right.
Refill.
Yeah. Is that what you guys were talking about? Where to
We're
get
talking about,
refill?
like don't use empty water bottles. Don't use, just because.
Don't use anything that's considered garbage.
Just because you think it's cool to recycle and be green and use, and this is the point I brought up, empty egg cartons, doesn't mean that I'm going to think it's really cool to have I keep going back to it, but DVD box set packaged in your old egg carton. I'm not going to see that as green unless I just totally happen to be the most, biggest recycling, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, that was awesome. But I would say 8 or 9 people out of 10 are going to go, no, what do you pack it with your trash? They're not going to see it that way.
The only trash that I would say to do is if you go dumpster diving, getting your boxes and the air pillows and things from behind one of the stores. I've done that, and I guess it's considered trash when it's in the dumpster, but.
And this might be another little semi-controversial thing, but I used to use, when I first started out, I'd go to Dollar General and I'd get the Dawn dishwashing liquid boxes and things like that. It's one thing to reuse boxes that might have minimal markings on them, but I always felt like when I kind of moved on and just eventually started buying more boxes, or then the free postal, priority stuff came out, to get something that's in a box that looks like somebody did pull it out of the dumpster,
Oh yeah.
This is like if I have any kind of inkling that you dumpster dove for that item, Chad, don't pick on Chad, but Chad does dumpster dive for a lot of boxes. But he gets the ones that are just plain brown cardboard. They might have a little company name in the corner. They might have a sticker. He covers over that. But to say Dawn dishwashing liquid, hazmat, this side up with the giant arrows, and have that on all four sides of the boxes, if you're shipping somebody, like I said, once again, a $30, $40, $50 item they paid good money for, it kind of sends a message, a very unprofessional message in a way.
I agree that you need to go for the, not unmarked. It doesn't have to be unmarked, but not like the liquor boxes and the things that have
minimal markings. But anymore though, with especially with the postal service, but parcel post really is not a bargain. I have found maybe one instance in the last year of eBay where parcel post was actually cheaper than FedEx Ground or even Priority Mail.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not a bargain anymore. Media mail, I can usually find. I save my old Amazon boxes, save something like that look halfway decent. I can usually find something around here to use for that. I just can't think of a whole lot of instances where somebody should be using those type of like Dawn dishwashing liquid boxes. If you're going to do that, get the free Priority Mail supplies. The boxes are extremely lightweight. They're free. Chances are you're probably going to be, you need to be shipping Priority Mail anyhow. The majority of my stuff either goes first class or once it gets over 13 ounces, it goes to Priority Mail. There's not a whole, I guess my point is there's not a whole lot of media mail and there's not a whole lot of parcel post, so I don't have an opportunity to use those dumpster boxes anyhow.
I don't know if it's the types of stores that I've gone to get the things from or what, but I never went to like the grocery store or Walmart or somewhere like that. I went to like the office supply store or out back of Home Depot, things like that. And the stuff seems to be, it's not like the grocery store stuff. It's not like a case of Dawn or, like liquor boxes or whatever. It just seems to be more, the plain brown boxes.
Right.
They cut them up, they stack, whatever. It's not.
Like I ordered, this one's beat to hell and back, but I ordered tape from EcoSwift, our sponsor.
Love EcoSwift.
Yeah, I ordered that off eBay. Well, this is my tape that came today. I ordered however many, 36 rolls of 2-inch tape. If that were not all beaten up, I wouldn't really hesitate to use that for just some kind of cheap item on. Right now, it's a trash bag.
I would turn it inside out. That's what I did for a lot of things. Where it's like that, just the black, I would just turn it inside out.
The seam's over here on this one. Yeah, you can rip that little seam and do that, and make sure you put good whatever.
Yep.
If that weren't as but it's got like some serious gouges. As a matter of fact, 2 of my rolls of tape had serious dents in them, but I'm not going to file a complaint. But something like that,
but
I don't.
Ren asked, I don't.
When it says, Pop-Tarts, sorry, Robin, or whatever, if it says Dawn dish liquid, hazardous material, whatever, this side up, I just think there's a point where you need to learn to cross into, I don't know. I just think some of it's a little unprofessional. And like I said, I still do it. I would use that box.
Here's a couple
for a cheap item,
We're running out of time. We gotta make sure we hit everybody.
Rena said, "How do you feel about made boxes?"
Like Franken boxes.
I feel fine with it. I even got a box size.
Everybody does it. If you find yourself having to do it a lot, then get the resizer because it makes it so much easier. If you do it once in a while, use your metal straight edge and a razor knife and just go along the metal straight edge. I see nothing wrong with it. As long as you do it, I've seen ones where people take the box and they cut like slits on the part that stood up too high, and then they just folded them all down and taped. So it was like a piece of candy or something. It was like 57 slits that they folded over and taped. I kid you not. I kid you not. It was like do all the way around the box.
Hey, you
Like,
should not
don't
have
do that.
on me.
I know, right? Damn it, Brian. But as long as you're neat about it, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with made boxes. Now, the people that take like 6 priority boxes and stack them together. Remember, somebody did that for some golf clubs.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I do keep. I tell you, I will. You know, you call it Frankenbox, but like right here, I have this. This was left from my last shoebox Frankenbox. This was the leftover piece. If I end up with another item that will not fit in this, I have this left over to slip down over the top of it if I need a little extra space.
That's fine.
I save little things like that, or actually, I would slip that down if I had something that was, you know, priority mail that needed about like that. You know, I don't mind Frankenboxing 1 or 2, but you lose, especially with cheaper boxes that don't have a good crush strength, you lose a lot of structural integrity. You know,
The shoeboxes don't have much integrity anyways.
No, like I said, I weighed one of those a minute ago. That's a 6-ounce box. That's not crap.
Got another question. Sue just remembered. She said, I thought, not bad, whether you can use a flat rate package as a weighed priority package. There's mixed answers on that one. As far as I know, that is a no through the post office.
I thought flat rate had to go flat rate.
That's what it's for.
That was the only way they would. Yeah, that was the only way they would charge it out was flat rate.
So as far as I know, that is a no-go, and that's from that post office that I drop off at.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen 15 different answers on that. I think it just really, honestly, at this point, because most of the postal workers wouldn't know what it says in the DMM to save their life, and I think if your post office says it's okay, then go with what they say.
But if it gets to the next place and they don't
true.
like it, you know what I mean? I think that at some point it has to be more one of the, not common sense. I hate saying common sense because that sounds horrible, you know, like you're stupid if you go against it. But, you know, if things like that, if it says something on the box, you know, like the UPS or the USPS stuff, use it for the intended purpose.
Well, it's like Mothership
You know what I mean?
said, flat rate must go flat rate, info from postal employee. Me personally, I do like you said. If that's what it says on it, that's what I'm going to do, and I don't variate from that. So
I just think that's the safest way to go because you know you're not going to get, you know, like I said, what if your post office says, oh, that's fine, you know, no problem, and then it gets somewhere else in the line and somebody has a problem with it.
Oh, if I get a package, if I order a package off eBay or Amazon and it gets here with postal due, and it's obvious that they cheated or whatever, you're going to get negative feedback. And
I will fry you.
And crying and everything else, no, it's going to stick.
Yep, I will fry you for that.
I'll order something else from you a second time just to burn you again.
So, I mean,
because there's no excuse, like zero excuse for your package to get to your customer with postage due. That should never, ever happen.
well, between the flat rate and the regular weighed priority, either way, you get free boxes. Just order them.
There's a
Keep
lot
them
of
on hand.
there's a lot of talk in the comments about apparently people were saying no, like Ren said no to cut it down. There's a lot of talk about cutting it down. I know you mentioned a cut down tool. My dad taught me when I worked at his store the easiest way to cut a box down. As a matter of fact, before that, when I worked in the grocery business before him, my dad was like 35-year-old grocery store veteran and was a king of a box cutter. We're talking the old school box cutters that were metal where you just slide the blade up or whatever. My dad could cut through a case of cereal and only go exactly 1/8 of an inch deep to cut through that cardboard and never slice a single box in there. I mean, he knew how to put his thumb and do all that. Well, he taught me how to slit a box down without using a tool. And once you learn how to do it, you don't have to have that tool, and it's really not that hard. There's kind of a trick to it. And I think I'm going to do a video on that. I was thinking about that last week. And if I do, I'll let everybody know. But
I have to have a straight edge Like,
But you can use the box itself as a straight edge.
I just use it as a straight edge for like a pen, and the rest of the way I'm using a knife or scissors.
Or I save scraps of cardboard and I use those, because once you got your first 2 slits down the side, you can score lightly on the inside, score lightly straight across. And once you do that, that one flap becomes your template when you fold it down for all 3 other sides.
but
It's kind of hard to explain, but it works.
well, no, I completely understand what you just said, but I have cut down a lot of boxes.
Right.
I don't know if it's OCD wise because I have to have them. They all have to be exactly the same, and they all have to be exactly straight. So I use a straight edge, and I actually use. It should be in here, because this is where I've been doing my stuff. But anyways, it's actually for embossing. It's an embossing tool, but it's a big one.
Okay.
And I use that along the straight edge for my scoring tool.
And like somebody mentioned, Pete, Craigslist Hunter, and I watched that video that Mothership Products is talking about. He took an old pizza cutter and took a pair of tin snips, and I remember watching, he cut out around the edge and made teeth out of it, similar to the tool that you're talking about, but just a homemade version.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and the whole time, that was what got me to thinking about it a couple weeks ago. And I'm sitting there thinking, I do that same thing, but I do it without having to have that tool. Because if you run your blade lightly across the edge, and when I say lightly, just literally, you're just wanting to score. Because if you ever look at how cardboard is made, it's a layer of cardboard, it's a thin layer of cardboard, and then it's a wavy thing like this right here. Corrugated. And then all you're wanting to do is slit that one solid surface. Once you do that, and you go to fold a box, that box, it's not a memory, but that box knows exactly what line to fold on, which is essentially what you're doing with your little tool thing. But you can do the same thing. I buy these for 10 cents a piece. You can do the same thing by taking this, and I love these because they'll only go up a certain amount. Like that's a tiny, tiny, tiny tip on that one, and I can do the same thing, just lightly scoring with that without going all the way through.
Is that the breakaway?
Yeah, it's the breakaway kind. And I've got a little junk store liquidator guy around here that has these for $0.10 a piece, and I've seriously thought about them because they're so awesome. When that blade gets dull, you take a pair of pliers. And you do it with your fingers. I've never tried that. You snap it off, and you're down to the next blade. And they're 10 cents a piece, and you get that many blades. And that one's actually used. So it has a lot more blades on it.
I do like those, though. They're hard to find. I haven't seen them here, though. The breakaways.
I'm gonna see if you can get me a couple cases of them because I would love. I mean, I want to make back, my shipping.
Yeah.
And I could offer them in Profit Talker, 10 for X amount of dollars shipped.
Yeah, I got a little bit bigger type, but it's still a breakaway type.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the breakaways in forever. Those are fantastic. I have
Stay out of the wood section of Home Depot and go to the other aisles.
Yeah, those aren't as good.
This one right here.
Smell is nice.
I've broken this one away so many times. It's up to like the.
Are you on the last nub?
This is my I'm on the last. I got after that one. I got one more, and that's the one I kind of use to like open my Amazon packages when they come to cut through their paper tape. I'm trying to make it. I mean, it's a 10-cent box cutter, and I'm trying to make it last.
Hey, Dusty, do you have the cap on the end that breaks it away?
So
you take the cap.
Oh, no crap! I do down here on the end.
Yeah.
Dusty's like, what?
That's what I should have down there with that clip. No, seriously, look. How do I get that off there?
I did not even know that's what it was for.
No kidding. I just thought it was a 10-cent box cutter. I don't know how to do that.
I thought it was a pocket thing, like to make sure it's
I thought I could put it out here. Look, I'm cool.
There's a little slit right in the middle of that. You take the blade and pop it off.
Look, Sue even, yeah, they're all saying that. There's usually a slit at the back end that you put your used in to snap it off.
See, my dad,
people are so smart. I did the pliers thing.
If y'all know the metal box cutters I'm talking about, my dad had them. They said like Del Monte bananas and like Dole fruit because the companies would give them to us for free or whatever in the grocery business. They were the old school metal ones that had the literal just straight edge razor blade, and you'd slide a new one in and out. And you know, when that edge got dull, you'd flip it around the other way and stick it back in. But so how do I get that cap off?
You see, I got a little catch right here.
Yeah, I don't have a catch.
Not in, then pop that out. But that's what you're taking.
Well, no, mine don't.
I don't know if you guys saw, but Sue said it's the end of the month, so don't forget to.
So it's that time of the month? What?
The end of the month. So don't forget to renew your listings.
Brian, you're so smart. Look at there. It's got a little snapper tool thing. I was using a pair of vice grips.
Yep.
Learned some things.
The flat nose pliers, just use. That's what I did. Put it along the line and pop
And
it.
then take that little piece and make sure you put it in the very bottom of the trash can.
Just throw it on the floor.
Throw it on the floor.
That way it can rip the bag the whole way.
Well, now you remember I don't actually have a trash can this week. I'm using an EcoSwift,
That's
proud sponsors of Profit Talk.
Swift should sponsor us.
You know what they need to? Guys, their tape is awesome. And I'm going to send them a link to this video. No, really it is. I don't ever physically go into eBay and leave positive feedback. I have it set up to auto leave for my buyers. And as far as like me buying something, I'm like, whatever, you can get it when I get around to it. I got my tape today, and I actually went in and left them positive feedback because it was just that good a tape.
It is. It's phenomenal tape. You have to watch, like, if you do the Ebates thing, 9 times out of 10, if there's an eBay Ebates, then it's cheaper to get EcoSwift tape on eBay. If there's not, you typically come. Yeah, I just saw that, Brian. You typically come out a little bit better to buy it straight from EcoSwift's site.
I paid $42.43 with free shipping for 36 rolls of this tape. And most people would say, oh, yeah, well, I get that same tape at blah, 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 and I'd only pay $1 a roll, whatever. No, you don't. You get 55-yard tape. This is 110-yard tape.
Of super sticky, great tape.
It's 2 mils, which the thickness does make a difference. This is a partially used one. This is what your normal roll of tape that's like 55 yards is going to be about like that. That's probably 55 yards left on that one. This one's 110 yards. So if you're using this and you're going, oh, I'm paying $1 a roll, or you're going to Dollar Tree, or you're going to Walmart and getting the Duck brand, it's probably 55-yard tape.
Yep.
110-yard tape, big difference. Twice as much tape on the roll. $43, and I actually have a friend here in town that wants to split this with me, so it's only going to cost me $21 for 18 rolls of tape. And that will last me, and I use a lot of tape. 18 rolls will last me a month and a half, probably.
The last purchase that I made because of the rebate thing that I got back, I was right under $1 a roll for my EcoSwift tape.
So I needed the Ebates. I missed that one.
Sign up under my affiliate link, please. I just got my 3rd check from them.
Oh, Chad said I don't use dumpster boxes anymore. I buy my boxes. Chad, I was not picking on you, and why do you stalk the audience?
Sue, it's the
You're not out there.
It's EcoSwift, the 2 mil EcoSwift tape, 2 mil 2-inch.
Where's Sue? Here's the auction number that I ordered. It was $42.43. Let me click on it. EcoSwift. Hold on. Do I use a tape gun? You don't want to know. Swift tape. Actually, I don't. I hate tape guns. This quantity, or you don't need 36 rolls. I just put it in the chat. Well, let me do an actual link. If you don't like that, just click on view items from view other items from the seller, and you can get smaller quantities. Of course, the price per roll goes up a little bit, and their picture is really crappy. It's not all deformed like that and funky looking. It's nice, professional. Damn, I wish my camera would reach. I'd spin it around there, but it's nice, professional, good-looking tape.
Why don't you just screen share?
I don't want to screen share.
Berta, what do you mean how much? How much what? I'm not sure what I said for her to. I don't know what I was talking about to know what the question was about.
The little red tape dispenser. The tape gun. I tear it with my teeth, and I've done it that way for 17 years, and I know that's gross and it's weird and whatever else. And as a matter of fact, when I worked for my dad, it was a big fight because I had to get used to using a tape gun, which I still freaking hate.
I use these things.
I know how to snap it with my teeth. It doesn't hurt your teeth. I just have gotten used to doing that, and I actually can take a roll of tape, and if I'm off working and doing FBA shipments or whatever, I can put it on my wrist like that. I know where my tape's at, and walk around.
Well, that's why I do these. I need the little bit of leverage with my how my wrists mess up. So that works for me, but.
I like the green ones. I wouldn't mind. The big red. I hate the big. Well, I mean, we have 2 or 3 around here. I just don't use them. I don't like them.
I can't. The big tape guns are hard for me. Like if it doesn't roll really easy, and like cut it really well, it's pointless for me. I don't have the strength in my wrist to do it. But these roll so like these, it goes so easy. It's basically like you're using the. You're just pulling it off yourself, but I don't know. I don't even know what this one is. Oh, this is the duck one. Has Berta answered? I don't want to turn it off.
You said no.
No,
I
I
forgot.
forgot. No.
Somebody asked if I could put the link to the tape that I'm talking about. Here is the link to the.
So, Berta, to answer your question, Berta, it'd be maybe, I guess.
I think, because I said it was right under $1, so I'm wondering if that's what she was talking about. It was right under $1 a roll. I mean, like 98.99 cents a roll. It was literally right under $1 a roll. But, like I said, there was an Ebates thing, and the tape was on sale. So it was kind of that perfect storm, but
Chad Pagel, that was not an insult about dumpster diving. When I'm thinking of people that I know that dumpster dive for boxes, you get good boxes though. I mean, that was the thing you don't get, and maybe I need to go back and watch it again, but I don't think you said you get Dollar General. I mean, I know where you go to get your boxes, and you usually get decent case size boxes. And like the one you sent me doesn't say anything on it. And Chad does buy his boxes now, let's clarify. But there's nothing wrong with dumpster diving boxes. That was a thing.
Berta remembered.
It's just when you use the ones that, have or they had dish detergent in them. And if you're going to Dollar General and they have dish detergent, and you know how on some of those boxes, when they're using them for grocery stores to cut back on the cardboard, they won't actually seal like this. They'll have the big gap in the middle of it. Don't ship in those.
Mm-hmm.
I don't personally know anybody that does, but if you do, don't ship in those. That's if you have to cover a giant gap in the box with tape, then you shouldn't be shipping that.
The Ebates checks, this one, it was only like $15. I haven't gotten any huge ones. But we do so much shopping online that it's silly not to get the little bits, that you get back from the Ebates. And so far I've gotten, I'm pretty sure it's my 3rd one. But every little bit, I suppose, This is my smallest one, though. And I'm sorry for eating saltines, guys, but my stomach,
Lost almonds?
No, thank you. Saltines are about what I can do. Put a flat piece of cardboard to cover the gaps. Oh. Chad's watching on his phone. He's just messing around with Dusty.
What?
They asked where Chad was.
Apparently he's
The
watching.
chat.
Apparently he's watching from his phone, so he can't comment. So we can all. Everybody that wants to talk crap about Chad, now's a good time to do it.
I can't chat. Like I watched you and Chad for a little bit Friday night, and I kept trying to chat, and it would not chat. The last few since the new YouTube thing has, like, the last update.
Were you on an iPhone
Mm-mm.
or an iProduct?
Nope.
Huh.
Nope. But it would not chat. And I was logged in and, went through the app and all that good stuff. It would not send my stuff.
Is Mothership Product still out there?
Yeah, Dwayne was still there.
Waiting. Oh, there he is.
Really?
They're local in Utah, dude. You should go buy pallets of it and
Dude.
I don't think you'd be able to beat their prices though, because I know what tape costs wholesale, and I know the fact they shipped that. Hold on, they shipped that tape.
Their margins cannot be very high.
20 pounds, even though they got Commercial Plus, which is what you get if you're top-rated seller or power seller is Commercial Plus. 20 pounds from Orem, Utah to Alabama, priority mail. There's no way on a $43 box of tape that cost them from Utah to here. I guarantee you that was at least $18, even with Commercial Plus.
Their stuff comes quick. Like, they are super fast. These people really do need to start paying us.
That came.
Or, like, sending us tape.
That came today, and it was ordered. Do you order details? I ordered it. I ordered it late on the 25th, like late at night. It might as well, let's say 26th, which was Wednesday. Yeah, I ordered it. So basically, I ordered it Wednesday. You had a weekend in there, and it got here today, which is Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Quick from Utah.
Yep. Sue said that she was surprised she put together a priority box and there was a 1/4-inch gap on the top and the bottom between the flaps.
I wanted to let Dwayne know that I have now moved into, this is Goose Island Beer Company, and this is a Goose Autumn Ale.
I didn't know that Dwayne was in Utah.
See?
That's like a dry state.
A nice head.
You're here, Coco.
That one is 6.7%. The last one was weak. It was regular 4.75 or something.
Sue, I could read the chat. On my phone, I could read the chat, but I could not participate. And I know I wasn't seeing every message. Like, every chat. Every bit of the chat. I know I wasn't seeing all of it because a lot of it didn't make much sense. I really need to get with these EcoSwift guys because they're the only tape I've been using forever.
I used a local box distributor for my tape, but I really wasn't happy because they wouldn't use anything that was branded, just whatever pallet deal they got or whatever. And I know at least with the EcoSwift, it's going to be consistent every time. If you order, and there, like I said, there is a big difference. 1.8 mil. That's how many milliliters. Like, if you want to get an example, go into your kitchen, get a box of your Ziploc sandwich bags, and somewhere on that box it'll say how many mils those bags are. Plastic, and most people probably know this, but for those that don't, plastic is measured in mils or milliliters, not millimeters. Sorry. 1.8 mils won't be as thick.
Yep.
Won't be as strong, essentially, because it's not as thick. It's still good tape. 1.8 is not bad at all. If you get below that, you're getting a kind of subpar tape. 2 mils is really, really, really good. I think this is the old stuff because it's a different core on it. I'm pretty sure that this was 1.8, and I know for a fact because I just went and looked at the order. This new stuff is 2 mils, and you can definitely But you can see a color difference. But you can, you can definitely feel that it's thicker on that one versus that one. And it has my DNA all over it. In case the police come and look for me. You need my fingerprints?
DNA.
I remember the tape that Deb had.
See, this is how, like, I order 18 at a time normally, and it's like you get 3 of these packages of 6 rolls.
Remember
And
Deb
I just leave them shrink wrapped until I need to bust into that pack.
Deb had me
Sue,
order
if you-
some tape before that was pretty thick too. Really, really thick and stiff. I remember the brand.
Sorry, I just had somebody ask a question on an eBay item and I answered it, so now they're going to buy it. I hope. You know, as far as I was at your EcoSwift, I was just watching. I just now got back to the screen. Yeah, it came in big 6-pack things like that, and I actually cut them all. I think my camera goes that far. Oh, it does. It does. It does. It does. I actually cut them all. Where's my shelf? I cut them all apart, and if you look right over there, what I do is I cut them apart of those 6-pack things, and then I stand them up because that's the way my shelves are set up. I've got all my bubble mailers, I've got all my priority envelopes and all that. I keep leftover bubble mailers that have been mailed to me, and then I'm trying to do this backwards here, and that's 36 rolls of tape down there. I was actually down to 1 roll of tape left.
Living on the edge down to 1 roll.
The last order, and that's kind of my area that I have. And then obviously my mailman loves me because that's on my postal totes. He keeps bringing me more and more and more. But yeah,
That's Marco or whatever.
Show me that tape.
Is that the stuff you couldn't break apart though?
No, that was the stuff that Mighty Bean's picker couldn't break apart.
That's the stuff from Amazon, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one that we tried from Amazon. I couldn't. I had a hard time with that stuff.
Yeah, you got to just basically really pop it and it'll come off.
But how much was it?
I really don't remember. It's been that long.
Mine wasn't cheaper than what I'm getting mine. Because I just wanted to try it because I don't remember who even did Deb.
Deb was the one who told me about
Is that who it was? Okay, I tried some, and I didn't like it as much as the EcoSwift. But I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad tape, but it was harder. Like the getting it apart thing, that was ridiculous. But I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't as sticky as the EcoSwift, and the EcoSwift isn't that annoying sound.
Well, I'll try out EcoSwift once I run out of this stuff, which might take a while.
But you know, like I said, there's nothing wrong with. I answered a question. She made an offer. There's nothing wrong with using dumpster dovin. There's nothing wrong with using dumpster dive boxes.
Dumpster
I mean,
dove.
if that's all you have, and you're like, you're to the point. And I've been there and done that. And you're to the point of like, I just need to sell some stuff. I want to get it out. I'll make it look professional. I'll wrap it in tissue paper so it has a good presentation or whatever else. Do whatever you have to do. But try to just don't use anything that's gross. If it crosses your mind and it's halfway kind of questionable, then that might be kind of the point. But at some point and I remember I used a lot of dumpster dive boxes in the very beginning. I used a lot of dumpster, and I used ones that said, we used ones because we had a restaurant at the time. I shipped a lot of them that said McCain French fries on the side of them. I mean, that was late 90s, and back then it was kind of the wild, wild west and like a flea market anyhow, so nobody really gave a crap what it came in because you didn't have free priority mail supplies anyhow. But, I do remember the point where I got, though, where I was like, okay, I'm going to find a wholesaler. And I've said this on several shows. Go to Google, put in your city and state, and put in box distributor or boxes, or try something like that, or go to yellowpages.com and look for box distributors in your town. I'm going to tell you right now, boxes are a hell of a lot cheaper than you think they are. Even the Walmart boxes, which they have a great selection of sizes. Here's one that I got from Walmart. I think it was like, I don't remember why I bought this, but I think it was like 48 cents. And it's a Duck brand. It's 12 by 8 by 5, just kind of rounding up. 12 by 8 by 5, not a bad box. Would be great for if you need to ship a media mail book or whatever. They're like 48 cents. That's almost as cheap as a box distributor. And they're very, very sturdy. But you'd be surprised, a lot of these box distributors, you don't have to buy, I mean, a lot of them are little tiny operators. They're not going to make you buy an entire pallet necessarily. Some of them might. But if you go in and say, hey, I'm an eBay, Amazon reseller, I just need a few boxes here and there, what's your minimum order or whatever, and they'll say, oh, you need to buy 25 of each size. If those are 30 cents a piece and you buy 25 of them, what is that, like $7.50? My math right there. And buy one of that size and then buy a couple of the next size. And I'll never forget the moment that I kind of moved from having to go out and hunt for boxes into kind of buying boxes and buying bubble wrap, which it kills me to buy bubble wrap, but I found several local box distributors. Back when we lived in Birmingham, I had one there. I found one when we moved to Huntsville. I found one here. And I can buy these huge, and when I say huge, my wife has a Volkswagen Jetta. The back seat lays flat, and it has a huge-ass trunk. And even if I don't have a passenger, between the passenger seat, back seat, and the trunk, I have to really squish to get the entire bundle of 4 rolls of bubble wrap in there. And it cost me $50, but it's 4 250-foot rolls of the big bubbles that are 12 inches wide. That's a lot. That's 1,000 linear feet of bubble wrap for $50. And
bubble wrap.
It's a lot of money. I mean, I understand for some people it's a lot of money. Yeah, it pains me when I have to go pay $50, but that's a lot of bubble wrap. Wrap your item in bubble wrap. Go to Lowe's. Lowe's has packing paper. It is right next to the paint desk, and it's very thick. The thicker the brown craft paper, the better, because the stiffer it's going to be and the more it's going to protect your craft. The more it's going to, you know what I mean? The more it's going to be a better dunnage. They have these huge-ass rolls of brown craft paper that are meant for painting or whatever, and they're 3 feet tall, and I forget, a couple hundred feet long, and they're like $11 a roll.
I think that people need to stop, like, in the grand scheme of things, $50 for some bubble wrap, it's not a lot. You need to stop looking at the total and look at the break it down. Break it down to what you're paying per foot.
I do a lot of shipping, and I ship a lot of breakables and a lot of electronics. And I will tell you right now, that 1,000 feet, that $50 will last me 4 months. Easy 4 months. Because a lot of things don't even need bubble wrap. They're going to go in a padded mailer. They're not really breakable, so I'll pack them with some of that craft paper from Lowe's. I mean, it'll last me 4 to 5 months. Easy. When you break that down and you look at it more that way, that's $10 a month, or so much per item. Or, like you said, it's so much per foot.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, break it down, because I think people are kind of nickel and diming themselves to death because, and not, saving the nickels and dimes. You're actually spending more to buy the cheaper items for smaller things, or the cheaper inferior things, because you have to use more, or it doesn't last as long, it doesn't go as far. Quality goes a really long way. Dwayne was asking about the EcoSwift, the 110-yard rolls fitting in the small green duck, and they don't. You can't.
Oh, okay. You
can't put the thing around. So I put just the cutter part, and then I make sure that this part is locked and closed, and then I just put it down like that, and then I'll grab here and then just use it it basically is leverage for me. I need the leverage because I have nerve damage in my arm, so I don't have the good strength in my arm. So it's a leverage thing for me. And then, use it for the cutter. It still cuts the same. It's just your floppy. But when you're putting it on the box, it doesn't matter, because once you get it up like this, it doesn't move. It becomes more like a tape gun at that point than, just the little holders. Now the 55s fit in here, but that's all that these are made for, is the 55s. So I didn't know if what I said in chat made sense.
Berta had a good point. You can, if you have a newspaper place. We don't have a newspaper anymore, believe it or not. Our local newspaper only prints on Saturdays, Sundays now, and I think maybe Wednesdays. But it's all printed out of Birmingham because it's the same media company that owns like all the newspapers in Alabama. So they basically closed our newspaper office here and closed the plant. They actually torn the building down and selling the land. But if you have a newspaper place, you can go in, call them actually. You can call them and say, hey, can I get some end rolls? When they do newspaper printing, it's on these huge, massive rolls. And when it gets down close to the end and they're in between runs, instead of kind of like your Dymo label printer, you don't let it run all the way to the end and stop in the middle of printing. You may get down to 10 labels or what, so you have a lot of these end rolls left. They'll sell you those really, really, really cheap. And some newspaper places may even give them to you. I don't know.
A lot of them now donate them to the schools and churches, though.
Berta said she gets them for free. I know Scavenger Life has mentioned they had to buy them, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have a bunch of them. Like, I have a bunch of the 3 foot.
Sue.
I think 3 foot, and then the 5 foot, 5 or 6 foot.
Sue just told me that Amazon has the same 36 rolls of EcoSoft. I like that. That's recycled toilet paper. EcoSwift tape for $39.99 Prime. I need an ASIN number. Post an ASIN number for everybody.
Last time I looked, it wasn't cheaper on Amazon.
EcoSwift is weird. Like on their boxes, it says go to ecoswift.com and you get on their website and it's one price. And you get on their like eBay auctions, for instance, and just under on eBay under packaging tape alone. Hold on, packaging and shipping, shipping tape. Where the hell is? I just had it. Like there's 70 results, so you got to pick through because their pricing's all over the board. Last time I looked on Amazon, it wasn't cheaper either.
Yeah, 2-inch, 110 yard, 2 mil, 36 rolls. Right now it's $39.99.
Dang.
Sure is.
Jump on it, Dusty. Jump on it.
I just ordered 30. Dude, like I said, that'll last me. Well, I'm gonna split that. I'm gonna give 18 rolls to a friend of mine another reseller. It's gonna buy them. But still, 18 rolls of it'll last me. Really depends. If I'm doing a lot of FBA inbound shipments, because those are usually big boxes, so I use a lot more tape. That'll still last me 3 months or so, 2 or 3 months. And it depends on who is helping me.
The value mailers thing. Have you tried that? Their tape. I'm pretty sure I tried that and did not like it.
I think that was the last person that it may have been who I ordered tape from the time before this one. Either did that or I got it from my local box guy.
How does that not have any reviews? That's crazy.
Is that sold by actual EcoSwift though?
That's what I'm looking at. It says easy find deals.
Is
I
it,
don't,
And you click on the
I
name
don't
and they
know.
have 12% feedback. Oh, they have 89% positive.
is it EcoSwift tape or is it EcoSoft like she wrote out there?
No, it says EcoSwift. This can't be EcoSwift because it's a lot of Chinese import things.
Yeah, but then
They
again,
have all their packing stuff.
he's a business seller, which is kind of tougher to get into.
Well, but look at the different brands. Like, he's got a lot of EcoSwift stuff. But then he has other brands, too.
I would just about bet you, and it says he's in Idaho, he's not in Utah. I would just about bet you if he ordered that, it's not going to say EcoSwift. It's just going to be generic, and he just jumped on somebody's listing.
I really hope not, because that's... But that's the only... Well, he has EcoSwift He had EcoSwift something else too.
Yeah, but people do that all the time.
Oh, I
look
know.
on that. Nobody's going to know the difference. It'll be because like the picture shows a blank white core, and he might write EcoSwift on the box or ship it in a generic box, and 9 out of 10 people aren't going to know the difference. They're going to get it and go, oh, it's my EcoSwift tape.
Oh yeah, he has the chipboard, the cardboard chipboard for scrapbooking, the EcoSwift brand. Who's gonna know if that's not that's not EcoSwift? I mean, it's not gonna have the packaging, but you know what
He's
I mean.
also listing on a generic listing. It says packing tape.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
30
don't know.
roll, the 1.8 mil. Which
Why is that the only? But that's the only seller on there, wasn't it?
The Boxery was selling that one. That's another good seller you can look up. The Boxery, I have ordered stuff from them in the past. They're really good. THEBOXERY. Put that into
Boxery.
and put Amazon. And it should pop up their listings. So I don't know, but the next, I think the next step, what I was saying in my business is that I took it to where, okay, I said I don't want to do packing peanuts because I hate them and they're the devil, and it's just a personal thing with me. But I said, okay, I'm gonna have to get to the point now because I was running around dumpster diving, and if you have somebody else to do that for you, Chad Pagel, or whatever, it's one thing, but if you're having to spend, I hope he's still on his phone. But if you're having to spend a lot of your time running around looking in dumpsters and everything else versus, if your business is picked up to the point where you're so busy listing and shipping, and I think that's the point that I was at that point in time, where I realized I don't have time to go look for boxes. I'm spending I was driving to Birmingham. As a matter of fact, we had a paper distributor down there, and we lived about 30 miles north of Birmingham. And I was driving there. I had a full-size Chevy truck with a cargo net, and I was getting, they had a cardboard recycling dumpster, and they told me I could have whatever I wanted, and I did that for a long, long, long time, but then it got to where I was spending a lot of time doing that a couple days a week, and I was like, okay, those are 3 days a week that I could have been listing stuff, making enough money to cover the cost of the boxes. You have to decide where your time is money. It's kind of like with anything in this business. You have to decide where do I, as much as you don't want to spend the money, what is not worth my time and what is worth my time.
Yeah. Okay. I need to wrap up, guys. I mean, you can continue if you want to, but I need to go. I need to lay down. Mm-hmm.
No, we're good. Did we have any final wrap-up questions? Joe says you need a deep tissue massage or
That's what tomorrow's Tuesday.
Oh, sorry. I'm behind.
Tuesday is massage and chiropractor.
With happy ending.
I'll be happy. Nah, Joe. I don't think anybody.
I don't see
see
any other
anything else.
question.
Tristan's got a female friend of hers that does, true, she knows what she's doing as far as massage therapy and, your lymph nodes and all that kind of, she knows what, and pressure points and stuff like that. And she's really good. I don't mind going to her. It weirds me out, though, or it would weird me out. I don't know if I've ever been, I couldn't do a male massage guy. It's just, I don't know, couldn't do it.
I've had both. It doesn't matter. Like, during the thing, it's...
I don't know.
You really don't think about it.
Just a brain block.
It is medicinal for me. Like, my girl was out of town last week, and there's a huge... I still went to the chiropractor, of course, but pain-wise, and I don't know if the whole being, the whole sick thing is because of, not doing it, but there's a huge difference in my pain levels and
right.
mobility and, blah, blah, blah.
But you know, the weird thing is that, like with my ankle, I mean, that was a little more less hands-on though. But like with my ankle thing, like there was a male guy that was at the physical therapy place. I mean, they did massage your foot or whatever, and I asked for him every time because he was a lot more not friendly in that sense. This is going to go downhill. Never mind. No, he was good. I mean, we talked about sports and we talked about reselling. He found that fascinating. He was just friendly. He was interesting, and the girls there were like just brick walls. And if I'm going to go in, you're going to make me work out on an exercise bike and torture myself for an hour or whatever else, and do all these foot exercises and all the rest of that, I might as well at least have somebody to talk to. You know,
Right.
so I think I pissed off all the people there when I asked for him specifically.
Who cares?
Well, my daughter got to come back with me a couple times because she's very interested in physical therapy. That's what she wants to go to school for. And she got to
Hamburger.
experience. And I asked her, I was like, what did you think? I said, honest, like not personality type, whatever. What did you think of the guy, I don't remember what his name was, versus the girls you met or whatever? And she's like, okay, the girls were just kind of bitches. And I was like, yeah.
Joe, I highly recommend it for your recovery. Turtle Trader, thank you. Did you see what Bomber said to you, Dusty?
He had a question for you, Dusty.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I did have to go. I did go because I needed a physical for my CDL driver's license in order to keep it, even though I haven't used it in years. And I realized I'm now 40-plus years old. I'm several years past 40. So about a year ago, I didn't have a regular doctor because, knock on wood, I don't get sick. And my wife goes, well, you should go to my GP, general practitioner, and, you know, I really like him, and you've met him and all that. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go, and that was my immediate thought that, you know, over the age of 40, you're going to have all that happen. And I'm all like, I'm psyched myself up for all this, and I'm going to sing Moon River and do the whole 9 yards. And, yeah, I get there, and apparently they don't do that till you're like 50.
Yeah, it's changed.
But it was all female nurse practitioners, and I was asking them, are you going to do this? Are you going to do this? And they're like laughing at me. So, yeah.
Just ask for the doctor with the shortest fingers.
Can I see your hands?
It's that whole
No.
Chevy Chase, Moon
Not you.
River.
If you're a doctor, raise your hand.
Oh. Okay. Thanks, guys, for watching. I know this isn't the most, you know, interesting subject, but we see so many questions repeatedly and people doing things and, you know, like posting things, and it's like, not to be mean, but it's kind of like, are you kidding me type things, you know, and that's a lot of times that's where we get the topic for the show. So like I said, I know it's not exciting and glamorous or whatever, shipping and packing, but
You know, and it's like I said, it's not that there's anything wrong with dumpster diving, or not that there's anything wrong with going to Walmart and buying 1 or 2 boxes at a time, or buying 3 or 4 rolls of tape. But at some point, if you're going to become a full-time reseller, if you're going to become an entrepreneur, if you're going to take your business to a professional level, at some point you're going to reach that level where you start buying things more and more in bulk. And Chad did message me on the side during all that and said, Dusty, that's the exact feeling that I had, the relief to just buy boxes new. And it wasn't because he couldn't afford to, but he realized that his business was to that level where he needed to do that. And I think everybody, that's a goal to work toward, that you need to work toward buying your supplies and using professional bubble wrap and using craft. There's nothing wrong with craft paper. Go to Lowe's and get it. Nobody knows where it came from. You know, buying things to where when somebody opens it, you know, even if the product is broken or the product is not what they expected, do you want it wrapped in an old pillowcase on top of that?
right, that
You
was
know.
so gross.
Because my first thought was when I opened that and saw that pillowcase, if that DVD set is banged up, I'm going to be pissed as hell. You know, had
Yeah.
they wrapped it in brand new bubble wrap, everything else, and it had been banged up, I'd have been a lot less ticked off. So you want to diffuse situations. You know, customer service is everything. First impressions are everything. When somebody sees a box, opens a box, that's their first impression.
Hmm.
Try to make it a good one.
They don't
Right.
want to see greasy trash
With
or
your
smelly
head.
trash or
with your head sweat on the pillowcase.
that was so gross.
It was awesome.
Chicken wing in the corner of the box.
That was so nasty.
All right, wrap us up, Danica.
We'll see you guys Wednesday on the reseller wake up. Yeah, my brain totally stopped.
All right, we love
We'll see you
all
guys
y'all.
Wednesday.
If you have any questions about packing, shipping, anything like that, feel free to
Mhm.
put them in Profit Talk or 1500 Room. If you're not a
Mhm.
member of either one, look them up and join.
If you have something that you want us to talk about, just put it in the Profit Talk is the easiest place for you to do. Just go in the Profit Talk Facebook group and say, hey, could you guys talk about this? And I think we've ran through all of the suggestions in there already. So if there's something you need to know about, just let us know.
Okay.
And thanks for watching, guys.
I will.